Salutations everyone, and welcome to What Mattered, the show where I tell you what mattered in the news this week. The doomsday clock is now 3 minutes away from striking midnight. My guess, either Deflategate is a bigger controversy than we all thought it was, or these scientists saw Johnny Depp's new movie Mordecai. This is What Mattered. Our first big bit of news this week is that Club Nintendo is shutting down. Nintendo's customer loyalty rewards program that we've all known and loved over the years will be shutting down as of July 1st of this year. And if you reach elite status by that time, you will be getting a free game from the 3DS or the Wii U that will be released later. And it will be replaced by some sort of different program. But any games that have come out after January 20th does not have said Club Nintendo codes in it, and your last day to redeem those coins will be March 31st, and your last day to spend those coins will be June 30th, with the Club Nintendo going down on July 1st. They are going to be rolling out a lot of new rewards over the next couple of months to give people stuff to spend their coins on. And I guess just one last hurrah for Club Nintendo. And it's sad to see it go, but, it was fun while it lasted. And speaking of good games at low prices, Good Old Games has announced and added a couple more Star Wars games to their LucasArts gallery that they've been compiling over the last couple of weeks. We have Star Wars Rogue Squadron 3D for only $6, an awesome game from the N64 and from my childhood. We have Star Wars Battlefront 2 to get you amped for Battlefield, Battlefront 3 at the end of this year. You got all the TIE Fighters games and X-Wing games, Dark Forces, both of the Old Republic games, and Empire at War, as well as its predecessor, Galactic Battlegrounds, with the Clone Campaigns expansion pack for only $6. I couldn't pass it up. For those of you who never got to play it back in, 2002, 2003, when it was the shit, and the game I played every day. Very, very fun game. It's like Age of Empires reskinned with Star Wars stuff, and it's just super lots of fun. Especially for $6, that is a good price. If you'd like to see the list of games, that will be in the link of the description. Something like that. Go check it out. Star Wars games. Gearbox has teased a new game that they will be announcing tomorrow at PAX South. Is it going to be Borderlands 3? Who knows, but what we do know is that Borderlands is coming to the current gen consoles, Xbox One and PlayStation 4 in a $60 bundle, the Handsome Collection, which includes, of course, the games with Handsome Jack, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel. It comes with all of the extra, DLC and stuff from both of those games, obviously. There is a special $400 mega claptrap edition that comes with a remote controlled claptrap. That looks crazy awesome. Only 1,500 of those are being made or something. But people wanted and or expected Borderlands to come to the current gen consoles, and it looks like they are. It'll be late March, I believe, when this comes out. So Borderlands fans, there you go. We finally had some Star Wars casting news for their first spin-off film, which will be coming out next year and shooting relatively soon, one would assume. And they're looking for a female lead with some pretty awesome names being thrown in the hopper, including Rooney Mara, my personal favorite, and Felicity Jones, and that chick from Orphan Black. I don't know, but people are excited about her. So they have some really good actresses for a lead role in a Star Wars film, which, let's face it, really, really lacks female characters in any capacity. So good move on them to have a female lead, and a strong female lead based off of the actresses that they're looking at. No idea what it's going to be, where in the timeline it is, who these characters are going to be, but it's most Star Wars. I mean, they're going to have a Star Wars movie coming out every single year. We have the first of the trilogy coming out this year, and then a spin-off, and another spin-off, and another from the trilogy. And so we're getting a Star Wars every single year, and if they could all be great, that'd be awesome. And with actresses like these, pretty hard pressed to go wrong. And in other female casting news, we have our Supergirl. It's going to be on the CBS, so every single major network is going to have a superhero television show, except for NBC, which is losing Constantine after 13 episodes because they put it at like 10 o'clock on Fridays. What did you expect? It's Melissa Benoist, I don't know how to say her name, it's French or something. She was a Glee star. I don't know anything about that show, but she was also in Whiplash, very, very good film, and she did a pretty good job in it. So a lot of the names thrown out there to play Supergirl didn't work out. This was no one thought that she would be Supergirl. She wasn't on anyone's list, but here she is. Superhero television shows have had pretty good track record in the last couple of years. Arrow, Flash, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agents of Peggy Carter just came out. Constantine flopped, but due to no fault of the character itself. But Supergirl, very, very interesting since Smallville was so great and the way that they dealt with a young Superman. Here we have not a young Supergirl. This is the kind of the age that we first know her, in her mid-20s. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle it story-wise, CG-wise, villain-wise, and to see if CBS can hold its own in the superhero television genre. And in other superhero news, we got a huge bombshell dropped on us by Marvel this week at a press event to introduce and kick off the Secret Wars event and see what it's all about. How are all of these different storylines from the old coming together? How is this and this and this in the Avengers and the X-Men and the Civil War? How is this all colliding? Secret Wars is going to be the mainstream Marvel Universe and the Ultimate Marvel Universe clashing, and when it's all said and done, a major reboot of the Marvel Universe that will replace the mainstream and the Ultimate Universe into one brand new Marvel Universe. The first large-scale reboot Marvel has ever had and stuck to is coming. The first issue of Secret Wars will be coming out in May, so we'll see what comes of this. For those of you who don't know, your mainstream Marvel Universe is most of the characters that you know from the mainstream, from the movies and such. The Ultimate Universe is some of your different versions of other characters. So where we have, all the new Spider-Mans, you have the new Thor and the new looking Iron Man white suit. So those two universes are going to collide, and when it's all said and done, it's a major reboot, a la like DC did New 52, with hopefully more success than they did. And they can do a lot of things with this. They can bring back old characters that were killed in like the 60s or 70s and bring them into the new fresh universe. They can combine stuff from the mainstream universe and from the Ultimate Universe and have them live in one universe. It's going to be crazy to see how all of this will intertwine and what ultimately Marvel Universe will end up with this. We have two long-standing universes. For those of you who know, Ultimate started in the 90s, I believe, just so Mark Miller can fiddle around with the Avengers without screwing up the continuity of the mainstream Marvel Universe. They have a lot of known characters who a lot of long storylines, and they're going to be clashing, and what's left is one brand new universe with characters from each and some brand new shit all together. So very, very interesting, something that I think all of us will be paying a lot of attention to in the coming months when it starts and kicks off in May, and it'll be pretty interesting, gotta say. What if I told you there's a TV show that hunts down trolls on internet gaming sites and asks them what the fuck? Well, in Sweden, there is such a show. Not going to try to pronounce what it's actually called, but the translation is Troll Hunters, where they track down trolls from online sites and gaming communities who have really hateful, threatening comments and speech, and track them down outside their work, outside their living spaces, and interviewing them, or at least trying to. It's very interesting. There are a couple of different opinions on this, like, oh, you're just harassing harassers, this is vigilantism, this is bad, or, oh yeah, screw these trolls, we should dox them and, villainize them as much as possible because they make our lives a living hell. And I wouldn't say I'm in either camp. It's an interesting concept. I'm not sure how mainstream gaming is in Sweden to see if this would do well in their ratings and if something like this could come to the Americas. But there is like this Disney show that has like a 15-year-old retired pro gamer, and that's really weird, but that doesn't matter. These are real people. These are real online trolls being confronted and being held accountable for their actions. Interesting idea. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. But that'd be like cheaters or like cops, but with like, people with like Cheeto fingers and like really low self-esteem and parents that never loved them. So I'm not sure if it would be, very satisfying or just really sad. It'd be one of the two, I would think. We have an update on the Pokemon fighting game that is coming to arcades in Japan. We have some new fighters: Pikachu, Suicune, Gardevoir, some assist Pokemon fighters. Don't know how those are going to work, but they showed Emolga and Fennekin and Snivy. So an eclectic array of different Pokemon. Pikachu going up against a Machamp, and Gardevoir and Lucario and Suicune. Very, very interesting. A lot of people expected this to be, fighting Pokemon in a fighting game, having them be only bipedal and, Hitmonchan versus Hitmonlee kind of a thing. But I think it was more obvious that they're just going to go with, popular Pokemon that people want to play as and fight against each other with. And I think these are pretty good choices. Suicune is a definitely interesting one since it's a quadruped and, a legendary. So interesting. The footage shows us what the game is going to look like, but I'm not too sure what kind of game this really is. There are going to be controllers like this like futuristic looking controller, like what you would think a futuristic controller would look like in the 80s. So that's very interesting. An arcade game with a controller. People have always been wondering from the get-go, is this going to get a console port or not, or what? Very, very odd and very, very interesting. Even though we know more about it now, it just leaves so many more questions to be answered. But once we get some actual footage of what a game would look like with these guys, without anything that might or may not be pre-rendered or pre-done or from an odd perspective, is when we're finally going to get a taste of what this game actually is and if we actually want it in the West or on a console port. But only time will tell. Anyways, guys, that is what mattered this week. If you'd like to know what matters in the future, you can hit the subscribe button somewhere, and I will leave all the stories to the links in the description as always. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time.